Hello, good evening. Good evening to you, Dirk. Welcome. Welcome, everyone. Hello, welcome back. Ollie, good to see you. To some more Suzerain. Yes, we're back. Sans Crown. Is that right? No, that's the right. Cupboard T21, welcome. Antoine, good to see you all. Right, sorry, I literally got back from football about 15 minutes ago, tops. It's been a bit of a mad scramble to get myself ready. I've got a dressing gown on because I'm that cold. My hands are freezing. So I'm sure I'll warm up soon enough. But yes, the king is chilling out today. No crowns today, folks. May the cardinal made the big error of having some crisps less than 5 minutes ago. They're all stuck in my damn teeth. Right, anyway, so the last session, stream that is, was a was the introduction. 4 hours long stream. It was oh yes, it was that most joyful time when I was off work. I didn't have a care in the world. Yeah, but a couple of codex sessions between then and now. But here we are, ready to crack on proper, because we were just dipping our toe in the water, getting coronated and all that kind of jazz. Meeting our trusted aides, getting a lay of things, and now it's, I'm sure, gonna throw loads of problems at us, because we were getting an under rippling of a problem or two in the country. Immigrants, to name but one. Families that that tried to kidnap us, or actually didn't try, successfully kidnapped us, that we hold a grudge against. You know, there's some sort of anti-monarchist sentiments. Lots of things going on here. Anyway, we'll see how we deal with them with an iron fist, I think. Good evening, Shelley. Welcome. Good evening. Yes, somebody's finally using the proper address here. Whose head is getting cut off first? Oh yes, capital punishment is a thing in this country. Yes, we've read that. Yes, do something too badly, too badly wrong, and it could be curtains for you. Could be swinging from the gallows. Okay, so we've got news articles. I was tempted to read the news articles as well doing the codexes, but I didn't actually, and I refrained. So we'll see what's going down today. Still got to get a grip on this system. Spending budget, spending energy, spending authority, but then we also have this kind of situation where we gain or maybe lose per turn if we don't watch our P's and Q's. My throat's been playing up the past couple of days. Don't know what the situation is. Right, Plavo abuzz as grand ceremony readies for King Romus's consecration. In the heart of the Cades Monteclar province, Plavo is immersed in meticulous preparations for the consecration of the king, with King Roma set to ascend as God's earthly representative. Led by the enigmatic Grand Wiseman, the city is a hive of anticipation. Good evening, Cham. Beyond the Arc-Sanctuary, public festivities and religious processions amplify the fervour, creating an electric atmosphere in the countdown to this historic coronation. The kingdom watches as the sacred ceremony unfolds, sealing King Romus's divine right to rule in the annals of history. The Royal Herald. Entire country honours King Romus. Rizia continued to celebrate the coronation of King Toras this week. An estimated 1 million commoners lined the streets of Port Drazen for the official parade, in which military brigades escorted a dozen golden carriages bearing the royal family and other members of the nobility. Rizian flags flew at street parties and banquets in Isa, Monteclar and Monkeys, with the latter hosting a grand fireworks display in tribute to its favourite son. Smaller but no less jubilant celebrations were held in Salabez, Fort Ailes and Falchidata. Restaurants across Rizia were instructed in preparation of a special coronation dish, Taurus flambe, which consisted of a picture of my head on fire, consisted of Monkeys lobster, doused in fortified wine and set ablaze. I mean, ultimately, if you were to ask me what dish should we be preparing for the entire coronation, Toras flambe would not have been one of them, I quite assure you. I mean, yeah, lobster doused in fortified wine set on fire, delicious. Just call it something else. Don't put ideas into people's heads. Yeah, let's flambe him. We'll flambe you, all right. Goodness me. How was my weekend? Quiet, because horse racing was a no-go this weekend. There was horse racing yesterday. This week there's been no horse racing because of the weather, of course. And yeah, the footage that I used was the program that I used to get the footage of the horse racing was down for maintenance at the precise time that horse racing was on. And I was like having a laugh. Of all the times for this program to be under maintenance, it's the 4 hours that horse racing's on. You could not have timed it any worse. It's a third-party piece of software. It's nothing to do with horse racing. It's Parsec. It's like a peer-to-peer kind of computer sharing kind of situation. And it was down for maintenance, and I was like, oh, I was horrified. And then today, weather once again. So yeah, no horse racing. So I spent my entire weekend playing Baldur's Gate 3. I started my Dark Urge campaign. So that's what I've been doing this weekend, Jam. I've been Baldur's Gating it up, which has been a lot of fun. I completely and utterly... I'm playing as Dark Urge. I'm playing as obviously an evil playthrough, which I never tend to do off camera, but, you know, it's kind of fitting. And, yeah... Let's just say the Druid Grove at the beginning of the game, spoilers here people, we just lit a match and quite a few people died. Yeah, all the Druids died. Oh dear. But anyway, it's going good, it's good fun. I chopped, yeah, more spoilers, sorry. If you've not played the game by now, it's been out a long time. I chopped Gale's hand off, which pained me. It pained me, but it didn't pain my character. Chopped his hand off, he did. Anyway, yeah, so that was good fun. Geopolitical news. United Contana suppresses protests in the south. United Contana has intensified its clampdown on protests in South Contana. Oh, South Contana. Oh dear. They need to get their house in order, don't they? The case has drawn international attention, raising concerns about United Contana's approach to civil liberties and trade freedoms within its borders. Yeah, sort your out. That's what I got to say. That's what I got to say to you. Family over from Australia. Oh, nice. Have they flown over? I mean, I can't say... You can never say never, can you? But I can say... Well, I can. I can say, for instance, I'm never having kids, for example. That's a never. But, you know, I always say I'm never going to Australia because I just couldn't face the journey time. But then you can stop over. You know, you could do maybe a week on the way to Australia. Maybe stop off in Singapore, Dubai, somewhere in the Middle East. Stop off for, you know, for not even a week, maybe 5 days. Just have a breather. And then go again. So it's not, you don't have to sit and just do the whole lot, do you? But that's just can't. No chance. You're having a bloody laugh. The only way I'm getting to Australia is if I pick up a cruise ship and do an around the world cruise. You know, one of these 200-day cruise kind of jobbies, which again is not going to happen. I'd go stir crazy. 14 nights is enough. By the end of the cruise, and I've not been on the cruise since last June, not the June 20, just in June 23. Yeah. By the end of the 14 days, I'm like, I'm ready to get off now. I'm sick of food. I'm sick of drink. I'm sick of not having my luxuries. I miss my computer. Miss my football. Maybe when if I'm still here when I'm 70 or 65 or whatever. and you've got nothing else to do. Your knees can't take it anymore, so you stop playing football, and you're ready for a life of kicking back and not doing anything. Maybe then I might embrace such an endeavour, but no, not now. That's for sure. Anyway, here's Plavo. Consecration of the king. So we've had the whole swearing and the reading the stuff. I will do the best job I can and all that kind of jazz. I had my crown on and everything, if you remember, cloak, sceptre, the whole lot. But now we've got a consecration as well. But our king is a man of tradition, religion and history. He's all about these kind of things, upholding things as they've always been. So, we shall go to our consecration and get it done properly. Oh, that's nice. The Ark Sanctuary in Plavo was deemed safe for the ceremony. There's some recent structural damage, apparently. That's all we need. The roof to collapse on us, eh? Oh, yes. I can picture the news now. The newspapers now, yeah. Roof caves in on King's Head. Woof, gone. Festivities underway for consecration of the king. This is about the street festivals. We've got some religious processions going on. Ooh, everyone's getting excited. Ooh, we can't let them down. We've got to be looking prim and proper. Not like I'm ready for bed. Literally. Port Drazen, arrange a classical concert. Right, okay. It's going to cost cash, isn't it? Of course it is. It's going to cost cash. As a gesture to the noble houses and to celebrate the cultural music heritage of our land, a proposal to host a classical concert featuring the renowned Rizian composer Antonio Geria Albini has been made. Such an event could serve as a display of the monarchy's commitment to the arts and reinforce its prestigious image among the noble houses. Again, it's the Brenus region from the codexes that I remember. This family is all very up with the arts, to be fair. But, this is about showing to the nobles, we're here, we've arrived, and we need a bit of favour with the nobles, to be fair. Yeah. Our commitment to the arts. Yeah. Cultural and musical heritage. Again, as I said, the king's all about sort of the traditions, the histories and things, so we'll organise this concert. Refuse to provide budget for military, but hey, let's have a concert. It's all about those priorities. Right, so, consecration, and we also have... Oh, here we go. Albini. Nobles of all Rizia's royal houses have descended on Port Drazen to attend the classical concert hosted by King Romus. Now, famed composer Antonio Geri Albini has also arrived just in time for his moment to shine. Thousands of commoners had gathered near the airport to catch a glimpse of the celebrity, but failed as he was quickly ushered into a limousine and driven towards a concert hall. Not one for signing autographs then, Mr. Albini. Right, royal decrees. So I'm useless when it comes to these things, right? But yeah, I didn't Google what the situation is with the royal decrees in terms of how many you can sign at any one time. Is there a good strategy to these things? You just sign them whenever you want, And what's the situation with the people approving, neutral? This must serve some kind of feature. I don't understand. Why? Otherwise, why would they put it? If it has no bearing, whether it's, their opinion of you, whether actually you need their approval, otherwise it won't go through. I don't know. We'll maybe find out together, much to my detriment probably. But out of the list of royal decrees that I did look through off camera, the only one that I wanted to do as a matter of, if we're going to do one as in now, was this one. The excavation of Topaz, ancient Resinid city. The most 3 of the 5 council members are happy with it, 2 are neutral, so it's quite positive on that front. It's quite expensive. 2 authority, 2 budget. It's not as if we're thriving budget-wise here. But this was just discovered recently. I remember seeing the codex entry for the the briefing item about it, or might have been in the paper even. But yeah, this ancient resonant city has been found, and it's ready for excavation and restoration. It will provide a renaissance of cultural pride. It will boost tourism. It will uplift public sentiment, and again, history. We're finding out a bit more about our history here, so we're quite pro this. So I thought we'd sign this one to start with. Let's get this done early. Let's get... Oh, look, they've all got crosses now. Is it because we can't afford... Oh, it's because we can't afford them. So some of them now we can't now afford. Yeah, we've got some other stuff. Naturalisation process for foreigners. No, not overly stoked on that one. If I do say so. Housing initiative for the poor. This is a proposal by Mr. Sazon's party. The RPP, the name escapes me. Rizian People's Party. Oh, there you go. I think. Yeah, they want to us to fund housing for the poor, which costs -1 authority, -1 budget. No, we say. We'd rather spend double that on excavating some ruins. Can you imagine the look of horror on their face? What? Yeah, but yeah, poor people's housing? No, we want to uncover history. That's what we want to do. So go away. So no, we're not assigning housing for the poor either. Funding a hospital or a university in our name could be interesting. We might go down that line a little bit later. Rail C public transportation infrastructures. Now, when I remember reading this, that our is it welfare? Is it welfare? It won't be welfare, will it? It might be economy. We had good transport links. Look, an efficient transportation system. So I think the longer that we put this off, this is probably going to become less efficient over time. So I don't think there's an urgency to have these right now because we've got efficient transportation. But I do wonder what the backlash will be if we refuse to invest in this, over a period of time. I reckon we'll probably get worse. But for now, I think we're fine. And then anti-narcotics campaign. Most of my council are against it. Got a drug problem. What should we do about it? Absolutely nothing. Okay. Topaz to be restored to former glory. So this is in the light of our signing of the decree. So in a new decree, King Romus has ordered the restoration of the ancient city of Topaz back to its former glory. Topaz was an important cultural hub in the Resonid Empire, one of its great cities. Unfortunately, the centuries took their toll, and today it's largely in ruin and disrepair. The Crown announced that the historical centre will be restored as once was, with no expense spared. A team of Rizian and international experts in archaeology and restoration will lead the project, as Makopa's brightest minds come together to unearth one of the brightest cities mankind has ever known. In addition to restoring the ancient city centre, excavations of several historical sites surrounding Topaz are planned. Once their mysteries have been revealed, these sites will open to the public, in order to greatly boost historical and cultural tourism to the area. While this grand endeavour will take a while and will be costly, the palace promise that nothing can stand in the way of showing Rizia's great culture to the world. Soon all of Makopa will make a journey to see what our forefathers were capable of. Hear, hear. Hear, hear. Right. Now that we've signed away some things and got some stuff done, it's time for us to, of course, be consecrated, apparently. Oh, and thanks to Liv, I don't know if you've noticed, but the thumbnail has been slightly tweaked to be more, in line with the king on the throne. With his fancy goatee beard and his crown. Yeah, looking much better, I do say. But here we are, consecration time. Oh, and in the last session, when I had my headphones in, I don't know where they are. I don't know they've gone now. I could hear talking and I thought it was. I don't know what it was. I thought it was coming from downstairs. The next door neighbour uses a CB radio, and sometimes he can be heard through the speakers. Okay, I'll read this in a second. Bear with me. I'll read it out rather. But apparently it's in the game. the chattering and the talking that you can hear in the if you've got a headset on, particularly, is part of the game soundtrack, which was really confusing last time. Anyway, so yeah, you would not recommend enacting decrees until the end of the turn, where the continue button appears on the screen, because I may need resources for events that happen during the turn. That's actually a good plan, good strategy. So spend what you've got left over, I suppose. That is a good strategy, and I thank you for that. Heads up, because knowing my luck now, we're going to need budget for something, and I've spent it on an excavation. Never mind. Never mind. Anyway, my motorcade travelled for over an hour before the Ark Sanctuary of Plavo appeared on the horizon. Its golden dome radiated under the sunrise. It was a view I'd seen countless times, but it never failed to inspire awe. Titus, who was sitting next to the driver, turned back to me. Yeah, he's no Sergei, is he? Is it Sergei? Sorry, Sergei? Yeah, he's no Sergei. He's it's too shadowy for a start. Sneaking around in shadows. Right, yeah, he's turning back to... What is it, Titus? You've got something to say, have you? We shall be arriving shortly, Your Majesty. Good. I've been looking forward to this for quite some time. I was here for the consecration of the king, the centuries-old ecclesiastical ceremony, religious ceremony, symbolising a monarch's appointment as God's highest representative on earth. Ecclesiastical. Better known as the divine right of kings. Unlike my coronation, this was a private event shrouded in secrecy. Oh, secrecy. You'll fit right in, Titus. Only a select few, such as Grand Wiseman and religious councillor Sal Ignatius, were privy to what the ceremony entailed. Not even my father, despite my asking, would disclose what occurred. He'd simply say what took place was between me and God. Given his ambivalence towards me, his reply should have come as no surprise. But aside from the pomp and the circumstance of the consecration of the king, this meeting was my chance to catch up on Rizia's current state of religious affairs. Oh, of course, as you will know from the first session, we're very religious. For a change. Before long, my car pulled up in front of the towering colonnades situated on either side of the entrance. Security guards held back a crowd of onlookers gathered along either side of the stairway leading up to the Ark Sanctuary, where the Grand Wiseman stood. Look at the old geezer. Hard to believe he's still breathing. Well, it's a joyful occasion. We're about to find out what this great big secret's all about. So, you know what? We're feeling pretty chipper. Grand Wiseman Ignatius, we say as we step out of our vehicle. Looking as stoic as ever. Indeed, he's a great man. Oh, maybe we're talking to Titus here, it seems. I didn't ask for your opinion. Goodness me. I couldn't agree more, as long as his loyalty remained steadfast. Titus quickly exited the vehicle and opened my side door. Yes, loyalty, Titus. Take note. I value it very highly. As I stepped out and onto the pavement, I was immediately greeted by the roar of a crowd that had come to witness my arrival. While most shouted my praises, there was a small group of demonstrators protesting against the ceremony. One was waving a sign that read, "Golcondism is not blasphemy." These people look like they could give you trouble. Shall I have them removed? Is it going to cause more of a scene than it's worth? Although we'll probably take quite a bit of satisfaction from seeing them dragged away, kicking and screaming. Probably not going to go down well for the image, though. No. You really had to ask? We won't go over the top here. Yes, have them removed immediately. Yes, sir. Captain Gordian quietly spoke to several nearby guards who immediately began herding the protesters away. Yes, usher them away. Shoo, shoo, be gone. I turned back to the crowd, and they were still applauding. Ah, yes, just a slight issue there. Yeah, nice and quiet. Keep it, thankfully not too much of a scene. Give a nice wave to the crowd. The sections particularly that are cheering, of course. Yes. Thanks, everyone. Thank you. Conduct their applause. No. It's time for us to show why we're, wise man's here. We're in front of the Ark Sanctuary. It's time for a Ruis's proverb. The people are going to love me, I'm telling you now. Latium cordaplinum quivosum desiranto. This rolls off my tongue, you see. These Ruis's proverbs. The old Ruis's proverb translated to, let joy fill the hearts of those who seek the Lord. In unison, the crowd shouted, Lucel dominatum deunion sencusant pactum demboraric. Indeed they did, which means, He is the Lord our God, His covenant is everlasting. A welcoming smile spread across the Grand Wiseman's face as he came down the stairs. Ah, welcome, Your Majesty. We are greatly honoured to have you here for this momentous occasion. I look forward to serving you just as I served your father. Yes. I shall honour this day with the dignity and respect this sacred tradition deserves, Grand Wiseman. Fills my heart with joy to hear it. I shall do my best to provide you with both personal and state guidance on religion. Your best? Thank you, Grand Wiseman. I aspire to fulfill God's will here on earth, just as you have done. I have no doubt the 6 stars of St. Ruhek still shine upon our nation. Come, let us step inside. We have much to discuss. Hello, Ambrister. I should wear my crown for these streams. No, the Rizian gold crown, actually. I think you've mistyped there, Ambrister. It's having a rest today, by the way. Unless, of course, it needs to come out because we're giving a public address. This is a private ceremony. If something requires my crown to be on, it'll be on in a flash, I quite assure you. We continue towards the Ark Sanctuary's entrance. You made the right decision in removing the protesters, Your Majesty. We would not have wanted them disrupting our ceremony. Glad you agree. Yes, disruption not in order today. Or any day, might I add. I suppose we'll deal with this topic during our conversation. Those poor lost souls. Should have locked up the whole lot. Although, technically speaking, yes. If he could give us some insight, some kind of information about who he thinks they might be, we could follow up on this down the line. Any clues as to who they might be? Oh, definitely Golcondists. Durdian ones, judging by their garb. He paused with his hand on the door. There was a time when Golcondists prayed here in such small numbers that their presence was tolerated. But the more Durdians came to Rizia, the more they overwhelmed the sacred sanctuaries of Plavo, Benevin, and Chales with their blasphemous version of worship. And so you banned them. Rightly so, I might add. I did so with a heavy heart, but our sanctuaries are a place of peace. They are not for those who exalt violence. He made a face. Among other perversions. Come, it is time you saw what they did to this very building. I accompanied Sal into the sanctuary. Titus and one of his men stood guard at the entrance. Our footsteps echoed throughout the massive empty chamber as we made our way down the main aisle that separated the hall in two. I was surrounded by ornate wall murals of religious scene depictions, leaving no surface bare. Nearby statues seemed to watch me as I passed. One could get lost in a place like this. Lost in thought, lost in reverie. Oh, I have, more than once. It's only fitting that such a monument be built atop the final resting place of Rizia's most revered disciple. Caelus the Devout, single-handedly credited for spreading the teachings of St. Ruhek throughout our part of the world. Yes, obviously we are religious. We will know all about this. I mean, this whole aspiring to lead a life of devotion and virtue, perhaps a bit over the top, but hey. It warms my heart to hear it. We stopped when we'd reached the chancel, where the altar stood. Sal gestured over our heads to the second-floor gallery overlooking the hall. Part of it had collapsed, and the rest had been roped off. Oh dear. Yes. It's a shame what happened to such a magnificent building. I couldn't agree more. A large group of Golcondists came here on one of their holy pilgrimages several years ago. An argument with the local Ruhasis worshippers led to an altercation. And why has it not been fixed since then? We will get to that, Your Majesty. Sal began to pace around the altar. Rizia's religious climate is at a crossroads, Your Majesty. From providing for the impoverished to expanding educational opportunities, our faith-based institutions are a central part of everyday life, the fabric that binds our society together, all under the umbrella of our state religion, Ruhasism. Yes, as it should be. I know I'd be lost without Ruhasism to show me the way. Obviously reflecting back on our horrific incident with our wife, of course. Drowning in a boating accident. As would I, Your Majesty. But our religious unity has begun to splinter in recent years. Apart from the Golcondists, we have seen a rising Dasnurist minority due to the growing numbers of migrants from Valen and Rumburg. Dasnurity was the other main branch of the Nerist religion, observed in most countries to our north. Lena had been a follower, but converted to Ruhasism on joining the Rizian royal family. a sacrifice, but one she gladly made in order to be with me. I would never counsel this country to turn away people in need, Your Majesty, but I do worry that our Ruhasist values are in danger of becoming diluted. Yeah, we're getting to that, he says. Yeah, this is where he's asking for money that we can't afford because we spent it on a excavation. Dear. Churches are always asking for money. A minute, fire. I can imagine they're very expensive buildings to run. Oh, hang fire here. Okay, so we could pass comment on some of the other religions, or however, we'll go down the line that as long as you're in charge, Mr. Ignatius, Father, whatever the hell your title is, Grand Wiseman, I suppose. It's just too many syllables. Our values will persevere. In fact, I will ensure that I back you to ensure those values will persevere. Oh, it's not a problem spending the money. It's a problem if we don't have the money because we spent it on other projects. If it costs us one budget to fix the roof, happy that we'll spend it. We will indeed. That's very kind, Your Majesty. There is one decision that must be made right away regarding Rizia's religious plurality. Oh, here we go. What? Can you go into debt? If you can go into debt, that's happy days, because we're getting +5 next turn anyway. Anyway, we've got a decision to make, apparently. He stopped pacing, he's looked at me. It's getting serious. I recently received an urgent request from the Archpriest of Salabez. That city's Dasnura sanctuary has long been insufficient to serve worshippers' needs, and he requests that a new one be constructed. What are we going to... What do you want me to do about that? Well, no. No. I am opposed to it, so it'll have to be that one. We can't just roll out the welcome mat to Dasnura Tea without considering where it might lead first. Not saying no. We're just saying we need to give it very serious consideration. I share your concerns. However, accommodating these Dasnuris might help reduce the tension between them and Rizian Ruhasists. I would advise you to support the construction of a new Dasnurist house of worship, as long as it does not take resources away from the restoration of this very arch-sanctuary. He pointed once more to the balcony. I petitioned your father to allocate state funds to return Plavo to its former grandeur. However, he was too preoccupied with other matters to sign the order. Go figure. I can't believe I'm only finding out about this now. I'm surprised you hadn't. Oh, I wonder if this is because we haven't got a budget to speak of. Well, we currently lack the means to finance both of your suggested projects. Therefore, we must prioritise. And, of course, well, charity starts at home. Then, of course, Plavo should take first priority. Exactly. Sal closed his eyes, tilted his head up slightly, and awaited my response. Okay. How far have we... we can't reload it now either. Or can we? I don't know actually. Where's the autosave? Oh, for God's sake. Right, it's fine. Maybe we'll get another opportunity to help the crumbling Ark Sanctuary that clearly we want to do up. Oh, that's really frustrating. Okay, yeah, I'm sorry. As much as I would like to help, the Treasury currently lacks additional funds because, hey, we've got ruins to dig up. I've already signed off on the order. I didn't realise that if you'd have told me sooner that the Sanctuary needed funds, not after I've spent the flipping money. Switch yourself on, Sal. And to be told about things more expediently in the future. Alright? Bloody hell. That's unfortunate to hear, but perfectly understandable. I hope that when the funds do come in, you'll earmark a portion for future religious projects. Yes, I will now. Yes, clearly. Which brings me to the main reason for your visitation, the consecration of the king ceremony. Sal spread his arms wide open. With great honour, I shall lead you as you step across the threshold and unite with the divine. If you'll follow me, we can begin. He motioned toward a stone archway leading out of the chamber. I followed the Grand Wiseman down a long corridor. We eventually reached an imposing iron door. Behind it was a descending spiral staircase illuminated by torches mounted on the walls. Yeah, how medieval. Believe me, this is only the beginning. This way, Your Majesty. I continued after him as we went down the stairs, which seemed to go on forever. Before long we'd reached the bottom, where I was greeted by a wall of human bones that were carefully stacked from top to bottom. In an adjacent room there were several tombs, each adorned with intricate decorations. Welcome to the catacombs. Oh, I had no idea this was down here. Most don't. As for the tomb's tenants, they're mostly wealthy noblemen and their families alongside other well-to-do individuals throughout the centuries. Oh, fascinating. Please do. Tell me more. We shouldn't delay the ceremony much longer, but very well. Who would you like to know about? This one here. Ah, that would be the tomb of Tiberius Azaro. Not only was he the Earl of Havas, he was the most revered general during the War of Rizian Succession. Even though House Azaro ultimately lost the war, the general never lost a single battle. After the war, he established Camp Domus, Rizia's largest military base to this day. Yes, well, He may be revered by some, but I never cared much for him. Second tomb. Who's about this one here? That would be Aurelia Itaxaro. If you remember your history, he was the famed industrialist of the 19th century, whose revolutionary mining equipment led to the Second Rizian Gold Rush. He single-handedly brought incomprehensible wealth to this kingdom overnight, granting us enduring power and influence. While he isn't of royal lineage, his legacy earned him a place amongst them. And this tomb here? Yes, decorated in gold, I would have considered it the most splendid of all, if not for the hole in the lid, through which I could catch a glimpse of the skeletal remains within. Very morbid. Here lies Bredus Azaro, the first Duke of Monteclar. All members of the royal house of Azaro are descended from him. The damage to his tomb was another casualty of the Golconda's pilgrims when a piece of the above ceiling came crashing down. I mean, I was kind of joking when I was talking about the ceiling crashing in on my head. Seems it could be a very real threat. Right, well, thank you for that, Sal. I'm ready to move on now. Very well. This way, Your Majesty. As we made our way down the tunnel, the ceiling began to close in around us, and feelings of claustrophobia began to sink in. Just when it seemed like the tunnel would never end, we emerged in a vast cavern, also illuminated by torchlight. Several Visceras, lesser in rank than Sal, were waiting for us. At the heart of the room stood a circle of 6 columns, each bearing a single star, delicately carved upon them. They were arranged around a marble sarcophagus. Oh, I know where we are. Indeed, Your Majesty. This is the tomb of Caelus the Devout. Rare are those who have set foot here. Count yourself among the blessed few. Caelus the Devout's effigy became more apparent as I approached. Sal placed his torch into a nearby sconce as one of the other wise men, carrying a silver tray, approached us. On it was a golden chalice, a clay jug filled with oil, a sponge, and what appeared to be a bottle of wine. Let us begin. Please, remove your clothes and stand on the royal seal. Okay. We'll be doing a KCD2 campaign. Of course, Cham. Of course I will. What kind of question is this? Not up on release, but I will be... Oh, you got to the on release bit. I said that before I saw your second question. Yeah, probably not on release. I mean, I'll judge it as to how good it is when it comes out and how stable. But scheduling and all that, and plus I think it'll probably benefit from some patches before I get around to playing it. But yeah, looking forward to that one. Right, I am ready. Clothes fly off. Following the Grand Wiseman's instructions, I joined him in reciting verses from the sacred scripture. Having memorized them years ago, I recited them in unison. There you go, you see. Not one to be done over here. We know our traditions and histories. When my garments were completely removed, Sal proceeded to anoint me, dipping a sponge into the fragrant oil and gently applying it all over my body. After my flesh was fully coated, he set aside the jug and sponge, reaching for the chalice and the bottle of wine. He then poured the wine into the chalice until it reached the brim. It is well known that this is the final resting place of Caelus the Devout, but what most don't know is this is where he performed his first miracle. Ah, miracle? The holy books do tell of mystical events occurring on this site, but they are unclear as to their nature. I shall enlighten you. This is where Caelus received the gift of foresight. For upon filling his stomach with the sacred wine, the very wine before you now, he was given the ability to prophesy the future. He poured the wine into the chalice and held it high. What can I expect to see? You will see nothing. Only the most pious and reverent men may drink from the sacred chalice. What is he trying to say? That I'm not pious and reverent? I'm the king, my friend. That will not be you. At least not today. Okay, we're going to be a little bit taken aback by this. How are we going to mask our disappointment? You see, once this wine is consumed, Caelus the Devout's gift of foresight shall, for a time, be bestowed upon the person who ingests it. I have spent the past weeks cloistered here. Sal is pissed off I didn't fund him. Yeah, you could have had this wine if you'd have coughed up, but you're not having any now. I have spent the past weeks cloistered here, fasting and praying, in order to transform myself into a vessel for the visions. He held up the chalice once more and drank until the wine was gone. No, you can't have any, but I'll have it instead. He's going down in our estimations very quickly. Setting it back down on the tray, he then stepped toward me and held out his hands. We'll take his hands. We'd rather have taken the wine, but his hands will have to do for now. Listen closely to my words, for the gift of sight comes in flashes. Right, I'm just going to get my dinner, and then we're going to see if we get some kind of strange visions here. I just had to have a quick taste. So for dinner, it's a bit of a Christmas treaty thing, because we got some things for Christmas which we didn't get round to eating because Mother went a bit mad and bought far too much food. So I'm having beef Wellington with mash and cauliflower cheese and a Yorkshire pudding. So yeah, a bit of beef Wellington. So I had to have a little slice, I had to have a little taster of it, and it is really nice. Although it's a bit chewy. Because it's beef, it's a bit chewy. But I'll take a pause and eat this off camera because I can't be chomping on this whilst I'm playing. Okay, here we go. Sorry. Listen, if he's not going to give me wine, I'll have to do. Sorry, you're drinking wine. I'm having some beef Wellington. Sal. All right, mate. Chicken wings in the oven. Do you know what? It's probably I mean, I've always liked to go chicken wings. It's probably maybe the past 3 years that I've become very much a chicken wing fiend almost. It's like, yeah, as soon as I see chicken wings on any menu in any restaurant, I'm like, I'm having the chicken wings. I'm having the chicken wings. I can tell you something. I think I mentioned it last year, but I'll just remind you. Some of the nicest chicken wings I ever had were the chicken wings, wait for it, because there's only one of these in the UK. I don't know if it might be two now, but there was only one at the time. It still might only be one. Hooters in Nottingham. We went on a Monday because I was staying over in Nottingham for work with some colleagues. We were having a meeting the next day. And we were going to go somewhere else. And then somebody said, oh, there's a Hooters in Nottingham. And it's the only Hooters in the country. And it was literally 5-minute walk from the hotel. So we were like, oh, well, go on then, we'll go. See what the fuss is about. Anyway, we got there. And it was a Monday. Unlimited chicken wings. For, I think it was something like a tenner. Something ridiculously cheap. Like a tenner, unlimited wings. Oh, so there is another one now. I thought there was. That's why I said two, because I'm sure I remember reading that there's another one's open. But unless there was two from the outset, there might have been two from the start. I don't know, but I know there's not many. Certainly no more than two. Anyway, yeah, it was unlimited wings for a tenner, and you could have a plate of wings, whatever flavour you wanted, and then once you finished them, you could have another plate of another flavour. And there was about 8 different flavours of wings. Anyway, I got the parmesan and garlic and parmesan wings first. I thought I'd start with, because they went up in degrees of hotness as well. So I went for the mildest, because, you know, I like cheese, parmesan, garlic, love garlic too. Garlic and cheese wings sound delicious. I'll have them, please. So, and they also did boneless chicken as well, unlimited. So you could I think it was an extra £1 or an extra £2. You could pay £12 and have unlimited boneless wings, boneless chicken, like chicken, whatever, tenders or whatever. But no, you got me. I'm a big wing person. I like the meat to be on the wing. Thanks. So yes, unlimited wings. Garlic and parmesan, polished off the first lot within, boom, bish, delicious. Nicest wings I've tasted for a long time. Absolutely delicious. The second set of wings I had, second plate, was Cajun. I think it was Cajun. And they were down as like kind of middly hotness. Not like the hottest hot, but not in the middle basically. They burnt your mouth out. Honest to God, I was like, I dread to think what the hottest ones are like. Cajuns are pretty spicy, and I don't mind the spicy food, me. And then my third plate, I had to finish it off with another set of garlic and parmesan. So I had 3 full plates of wings, and when I say a plate, you got like 10 wings on a plate. These weren't like little skimpy dinner, side plates here. These were big plates full of wings, and it was really funny because the whole restaurant was full, and at least 75% of the tables were just littered with plates of chicken wings. It was hilarious, honestly. So yeah, some of the nicest wings I ever had. In a flipping Hooters in the middle of Nottingham. And it was January. It was free. I remember it being freezing cold. It was a long walk to get there. It felt like a long walk. As I said, it was about 5 to 7 minutes. It felt like hours. It was freezing. Anyway. So next time I'm in Nottingham, on my own, for work, and it's a Monday, you know where I'm going for my dinner. Right, anyway, sorry, Sal, I'm getting distracted through thoughts running through my head. Right, I'm listening closely now. I'm ready. He closed his eyes and began taking in long, deep breaths. This, some skeptics out there might be saying this is all just overly dramatic. Clearly not us. We're a religious person. This is all. It's getting into the zone. So when he starts shaking and then we probably have to tell him to calm down, you know. We'll close our eyes as well. We're getting into this. Come on. Serious face now. Come on. We stood there in silence. Am I still naked at this point? I think so. Or at least, I would imagine I've got underwear on, probably. I don't know. It wasn't very descriptive. We stood here in silence for what felt like an eternity. I wasn't sure what to expect. No, neither am I, King Romus. This is a dicey situation here. But then, he's shaking. I can't believe it. Well, so suddenly his body began to tremble and his hand took a firm grip of mine. Oh. Hang on. I couldn't let go even if I wanted. I see a crown. It's ascending into the sky, rising high above the surrounding countryside. Whose crown? Please don't interrupt, Your Majesty. It's like Fallout music, like the really bad Fallout music in the Fallout 1 Necropolis. And on the crown is a fracture on the golden band. There is actually a fracture on my crown. It's coming away. I lost one of the paddings. The higher it journeys upwards, the larger the crack gets. Whether or not it can be mended is uncertain. What do you mean it's uncertain? The visions are possible outcomes of what could come to pass. They aren't set in stone. What else do you see? His grip tightened. I now see soldiers. Many soldiers. War and death. So much death. War? War with whom? A most vicious foe. More than that, I cannot say. And the victor? I cannot tell. Look, he's worse than Mystic Meg, Blackpool Pleasantry here. He gives some sweeping statements and no specifics. If you were to read Paul McKenna's books, this is a standard trick of these fortune tellers. Whose soldiers are they? Are they ours? I cannot say. Okay, what are the... a bit more specific. What are the armies? Yes. Their uniforms carry the royal seal. I continue to listen closely to his words. I now see two individuals. They are embraced in each other's arms. Lovers. They are surrounded by people, both for and against their union. This better not be my daughter with that flipping people fella. What was he called? I'm telling you now, Sal. Don't even go there. Am I one of them? No. I flipping knew it. One of them is your blood. We know it straight away. It's her and that Suzerain fella. Marriage? Union? Or arrangement? Lovers, you say? Go on. It is a forbidden love or one of disapproval. More. Tell me more. Before me now is a heart. It's been stabbed by a sword. A death of a lover, perhaps? Perhaps. Now I behold an endless sea of people stretching as far as the eye can see. They are marching toward the royal palace in joy or anger. I cannot say for sure. Above them are birds, tens of thousands of them, so thick they blacken the sky. They are migrating from distant lands and making their nest in ours. No, this is a metaphor. This is a metaphor. Birds. Do any countries have a bird as their sigil? Golcondists? Dasnurists? No, this is clearly Golcondists. He let out a soft laugh. A lamb! I see a charming little lamb. Once separated from its flock by a great wolf, it is now reunites with them. Their zeals return. And on a nearby mountain, overlooking the city, sits a beast with 3 heads. Each head is fighting with the other. The 3 noble houses. They must be brought under control, either through taming or severing one or more of the heads. Or all 3 will surely die. Yes, that's exactly what it sounds like. If true, it could mean dark clouds on the horizon are fast approaching. I felt Sal loosen his hold of me, letting go. Okay, now. Did he see visions of the future, or is he some shyster? Exactly. Looked at him curiously. Not knowing what to think about what the hell just happened here. The visions have stopped, thus concluding the ceremony. I have questions, obviously, but he's gonna not be able to answer them, but hey. I don't have the answer you're looking for. It is now up to you to decipher their meaning. That's the gift and the curse that comes with the divine right of the king. Well, we need to take stock of what we just read. So we got a union between my son and that Sazin fella. We've got a war, a great war. We've got the 3 heads of a serpent fighting, clouds of birds coming, thousands, people marching in either joy or anger. It's probably anger, because it's not going to be joy, is it, clearly? It's never joy. When is it ever joyful marching? Right, okay. We need to go away and think about all of this. Thank you very much. After a long moment, during which he seemed to be still recovering, he spoke again. Surely you now feel it, Your Majesty. The will of the divine coursing through your veins. It is your responsibility to carry out what he has ordained, and it is mine to aid you in your holy duty. It is a heavy burden, Grand Wiseman, but I gladly accept it. Hallelujah. 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 I nodded in agreement at the ancient Ruhes term. It was short for Decency Halata Veretin. If it is said, so it is, so it will be. One of the Grand Wiseman priests handed him a wooden case. In honour of this momentous day, I would like to bestow upon you one of the most sacred relics of our faith. He opened the case to reveal an intricately decorated sceptre. Oh. Nothing like a good old sceptre. Can ditch the other one now, bring another one in. Saint Dast's scepter. According to legend, master artisan Dorian Extebearer had a vivid dream in which Saint Dast appeared, urging him to create the scepter to encapsulate the pillars of Neurity. Not the pillars of eternity. Driven by this divine vision, Dorian meticulously designed and forged the scepter, believing it to be his sacred duty to honour the saint's legacy. And I give it to you. Oh, that was him speaking. I thought it was all part of the blurb. Anyway, he's given it to us with a change of voice. What's the plan for the upcoming week? I shall get to that. Take the scepter. Receiving such a sacred artifact fills my heart with immense reverence and gratitude. My clothes were still off. I put my clothes back on and made my way back through the catacombs until I'd reached the surface. The events of today forever burned in my memory. A part of me questioned whether or not what I'd experienced was real. If it was, did I accept the responsibility that came with my consecration? Did I really speak for the divine? Before long, I was back on the road again, back to reality. As the art sanctuary of Plavo faded from view and my mind began to settle, I thought more about the visions and what they meant. And if they were real, what my next steps should be. Whoa! Decree, decree, decree. Decree, death by decree. I'm not going to do any of you. None of you. Till it's end turn time. Provide energy heating subsidies. Look at that. Enact inheritance tax. That was not going to go down well with the nobles. Raise base income tax to 20%. We'll lose authority, but that would get us an extra budget per turn. Not good for public opinion. 10% tax is so low, though. Landowners tax. A one-time retroactive tax on landowners with territories exceeding 15 square kilometres, aiming to momentarily bolster the state's finances and address wealth disparities. However, its financial benefits to the kingdom are transient, not offering a continuous stream of revenue post-implementation. So it just gives us a budget boost, but not per turn. Discontent among Rizia's royal houses. Not going to like that. Removing income tax. It's going to lower our budget per turn, obviously. Yeah, so it's a kind of a cast-off between state approval, public approval versus how much are they getting taxed, basically. Extensive geological survey initiative. Okay. Investment in public transport, welfare privatisation. Oh, this could get us budget. Yes, it can. So the kingdom transitions a minority of welfare, health and education services to the private sector. Okay. Yeah, average citizen and the old RPP are not going to like that, clearly. Clearly not. Tax credits for businesses. So some of these decrees are direct proposals from the assembly, right? Or whatever it was called. What was it called? Not the assembly. The delegates, House of the Delegates, or whatever it was. So look at this. Most of my council like this. The tax credits for businesses. Wow. That's a lot of negatives, though. To our budget per turn, to our energy per turn. Tax credits to businesses, aiming to invigorate the economic landscape. Spur innovation. Could be some long-term benefits that we don't see on here, though, I suppose, but that's a bit of a... Energy subsidies for industries. Build energy storage facilities. Wow, there is a lot here. A lot here. One-time government stimulus checks for people. No, we're not doing stimulus checks, I'm afraid. Increase health and education funding. We've already got good welfare, apparently. Insufficient budget to enact decree. Yeah, we're a bit poor at the moment. Impose equal gender pay. Tenant protection laws. Protecting the law, the laws for renters. We got look at what the hell? How much of this? I'm gonna have to go through all this off camera. We can't. No, this is ridiculous. Large initiative global energy purchase, small initiative energy purchase, medium. Large initial global energy sale, small initial global energy sale, medium initial global energy sale. So what's this energy sale? The kingdom proposes a minimal singular energy export sale, minimally tapping into our energy surplus to stimulate a mild financial uplift. So this is like switching a little bit of energy for a little bit of budget. So we could like do that. And then if we couldn't afford to do something, we could then enact it with a little bit of a little swapping over. It's a temporary thing to flip your budgets about a bit. Definitely want to keep in the back pocket, yeah, for when you need it. Same here. A bit more energy for a bit more energy given up for a bit more budget, and that one. Ooh, energy and authority +3 to budget, and then this must go the other way round. So an import. So you're getting energy by spending budget. Yeah. So it's just a way to flip your pools around a little bit, it seems there. Commences Zapana hydroelectric dam. Way. Long-term infrastructural odyssey. The Zapana hydroelectric dam. Oh. Positive tidings for relations with House Suzerain. Can forget that. Construct the Isa Heavy Industrial Park. Wow. Build Salabez Consumer Industry Park. So Industry Park in Salabez. Expansion of Esquiris offshore gas field, so expanding the gas field here. Right, okay. Wow, there's a lot that we can do here. A lot we can do. Right, we're going to quickly look at the news, and I'm going to pause it whilst I eat my dinner, and then we'll come back to what we're going to do next, which is briefing on the current security situation. Royal Consecration Ceremony reaffirms monarchy religion unity. Religion's role in the affairs of state has been upheld through King Romus's partaking in the consecration of the king. Hosted by the Archsantry of Plavo, the secret ceremony was presided over by Grand Wiseman and Royal Councilman Sal Ignatius. It brings me joy, he said, to announce that His Majesty the King has reaffirmed his commitment to the Ruhasistic faith, said Wiseman Ignatius. Not only does our crowned head embody the spirit of the Rizian people, but of the Lord Almighty. May his long reign be a beacon to the faithless and shining light to those who proudly devote themselves to the one true God. We at the Herald believe that the harmonious collaboration between the church and state can yield numerous benefits, ultimately contributing to a more compassionate, inclusive and prosperous society. We eagerly await what the fruits of this partnership will continue to bring. And in geopolitical news, Garmland demands more say in the Strait. Garmishi, Gulf of Garmland, North Rican Sea paths. Okay. Whoopity-doo. Excellent. Right, okay, so yes. We have a briefing to attend. Quite an important briefing, but we'll get to that. I'm just going to take a quick break. I'll hopefully be back about 10 minutes just to get this dinner eaten, or maybe most of it, and maybe have another chunk of it a bit later. But yeah, be back with you in about 10. Righty-ho, folks. Bloody hell, that's quite filling, quite a stodgy meal. Obviously, beef Wellington is pastry, mushroom puree, and then a bit of beef. When I say a bit of beef, in these things, they were about that big. You know, these great big things. And the beef inside these great big things was about that big. This little tiny piece of beef, quite a lot of the mushroom puree, and just oodles of pastry. I'm like, yeah, you know how to skimp on the good stuff, clearly. There's the tiniest bit of beef in there, and the rest of it's just pastry and mushroom. But they were very delicious. I didn't eat all the pastry, obviously. I ate all the meat, obviously. 2 mouthfuls of it. But yeah, I didn't eat all of it. The plate was filled. Mashed potato, heavy. Yorkshire pudding, more carbs. Carb day today, it seems. Cauliflower cheese was nice. Anyway, Cham, you're having roasted chicken wings and thighs. Oh, I love chicken thighs, love chicken wings. Chicken thighs are my favourite part of the chicken, apart from the wings, of course. But yeah, thighs. Tell you who does some nice chicken thighs. Costco. Tray of chicken thighs for £5. Big tray, and they are the meatiest thighs you're ever likely to come across. Full of meat, whack them in the air fryer, nice bit of seasoning on. Absolutely delicious. Now, before we dive any further into this game, I thought I'd give you a little tiny bit of flim-flam, give you a bit of a laugh. I went to the dentist on Friday. It was my regular checkup. In fact, it was an early checkup, to be fair, because I went to the dentist in July because of my situation with my gastro, and I was getting acid reflux, and I was concerned about my teeth because I could have sworn blind I saw signs that my teeth were getting stained, and some signs of very, very early stage erosion of my enamel. As far as that's what I thought I could see. Anyway, so that was in July. So I shouldn't be going, because if your teeth are fine, they normally say you can come back in 9 months. It doesn't have to be every 6. 6 is usually the standard time. But I've been told before now, come back in 9. Your teeth are fine. Anyway, I went to the dentist. Finished work, rolled in, and as I've gotten older, when I was younger, I was petrified of the dentist and never used to like to go. But as I've gotten older, I'm just roll in now. Just crack on. Do what you need to do, because more often than not I roll in there and everything's fine. My teeth are fine. I've not had anything done to my teeth since 2022, 3 years ago, because I had to have a crown, because I had a root canal in 2020 just before the C word happened, and then I couldn't go back to have my crown fitted because you're supposed to have a crown 6 months later. So anyway, that was in 2020 when I had the actual root canal. So yeah, for a few years been fine. I've not had a filling for like 10 years or so now. My teeth are, as you get older, you realise actually your teeth are important. When you're younger, I can't be bothered to clean my teeth. I can't be bothered. I'll eat all this sugary food and drink these fizzy drinks and knacking my teeth up. When you get older, you're like, oh no. Look after your teeth. Anyway, so I rolled in there expecting to roll out again. Everything's fine. Now I've had a tooth that's overly sensitive down here, and it's the big molar. It's the biggest molar. Because my wisdom teeth have come through on my teeth, but they've not come fully through, and I don't think they ever will. But there's loads of space for them, so there's no issue. So it's the biggest lower right molar in my mouth. Biggest tooth. And it's got the biggest filling in it. It's got a really deep filling in it, which I had done about 10 years ago. Anyway, it's been paining me for about 2 years, sensitive wise. So if I get anything hot on there or anything cold on there, it hurts. But obviously, you just do it automatically. That you must chew in a certain, even if I'm chewing on this side, I must chew in a certain way that I'm not touching it, which is really bizarre because I do eat on this side still. I've not stopped eating on this side. So when I'm chewing away on this side, very occasionally I get a slight little, tiny little twinge. And if I do really forget myself, and I've, was to bite into the most, the hottest Greg's pasty known to man that's molten hot and burning your face off, and it happens to go on this side of my mouth when I'm chewing on it, yeah, then it's agony. It's happened a couple of times over the past sort of 3 or 4 months where I've eaten something really hot and it's touched this tooth and it's searing pain. Anyway, I've told the dentist about this because it's been happening for 2 years, and she x-rayed it. No, can't see any decay in there. It looks fine. Everything looks okay. She's tapped it with this tappy thing. Did you see pain here? No, no pain there. She blew cold air on it. Any pain with the cold air? No, actually, funnily enough, no. No, everything's fine, it seems. It's just with certain food, it's it. Ooh. And it's been fine. Anyway, so I'm in the chair, happy as Larry, having a chat with her, talking about the fact that I've just been diagnosed with GORD, and hence why my teeth need to be cared for, and, what do you recommend? And anyway, talked about toothpaste and stuff, and then I sat down and she did a little number game, 0, 0, 0, which is a level of 0 to, I think it's 0 to 4, with 0 being the best and 4 being the worst amount of plaque in your teeth. Anyway, everywhere, upper right 0, middle, yeah, back 0, everywhere. She went, oh, you're doing a very good job with your teeth. Not a sign of plaque at all. Everywhere was 0. I was like, oh, feeling all smug with myself. My teeth are very clean, my dear. No fizzy drinks? I said, no fizzy drinks. Do you floss? I said, occasionally. But I've got Listerine as well, so I do a lot of mouth washing. I've got a tongue scraper. I said, since I've had this bout of ill health, my teeth have never been in better condition in terms of being looked after. She went, oh, yeah, very good. And then obviously she said, well, I do want to just check this tooth where you've had the pain. I just want to x-ray it again. It's been over a year since the last x-ray. So I said, yeah, not a problem. And I hate that because they've got to put that thing in your mouth and you got to bite on it, and I gip because I've got a really bad gag reflex, so I'm gagging away. Takes this x-ray. I put my coat on, put my glasses back on. She went, oh. I was like, oh, what's oh about? She went, oh, just come over here. I'm like, oh, no, wait, here we go. Shuffled over. She went, oh, can you just see the slightly a little bit of dark here on the tooth here, under the tooth there? And I was like, no, I can see a tiny little bit of dark, slightly dark. It doesn't look like black, it's like a very, very, very light grey. Anyway, she said, yeah, well, that is the sign of onset decay. It's only very early, hence why it's not as like in your face dark, but she's a dentist, right? She must see these x-rays every day. If she thinks or sees that that's early decay, who am I to argue with her? Plus, I have been getting pain in the tooth, so it kind of marries. So, oh, okay. And she went, well, this is a very deep filling, and now this is where I'm not quite so sure. And if anybody's a dentist watching this, you might be able to put me straight here. Wait for this. So, there's me thinking, well, just drill it, refill it. But where the filling ends, this decay is underneath the filling, and the filling is deep. So the first thing she said was, can you see where that is? I said, yeah, can you see that's next to it? She said, yeah, that's your blood supply in your nerve, so it's really close. I'm like, oh no. I said, that's not a good sign, is it? I'm already feeling the pain here before you've even started the treatment. Oh dear. Right, okay, so it's right next to my nerve and my blood supply. Okay, and she said, so I don't propose to fill it. I propose to do, I can't remember what the word she used, but basically, it's not a crown, because obviously the tooth right off to a stump. What does she call it? An insert or something? I think she called it an insert or something, but basically, the drill your tooth like a filling, but rather than filling it, they fill it with something and make an impression and put something temporary in after they've done that, and then when the impression comes back, it slots into your tooth, almost like a jigsaw, and glues in rather than a filling. And that, she said, that should keep it much more secure, and and then she said, we'll see if it settles down. thought, oh, see if it settles down. Because the cost of this insert, which she said, because it's classed as a NHS, this is, band 1, 25 quid I think it is now for a checkup. That's your band 1, checkup and clean, basic clean. Band 2, 80 something quid I think it is now. That's for your fillings, second level of treatment. 80 quid I think it is now, 80 odd quid. Then you go to band 3 treatments, such as root canal, such as this insert situation, where clearly they've got to send stuff off, moulds come back, extra work and all that. 300 and something quid, 310 quid, I think. So it's going to cost me 310 quid to have this insert done. So I was like, oh, well, if it needs it, it needs it. Still thinking, well, just fill it for 80 quid, well, just fill it. Are you trying to get money out of me? And this is why I'm wanting a different... You can't see the x-rays, but I'm like, is she spinning me a tale here to get me to pay for an insert when a filling would do? I'm not so sure. Who do I go for a second opinion? So I was like, okay, fine, book me in for this insert. But then she said, we'll see if it settles down. Because if it doesn't, you'll have to have root canal. So then my first thought was, is that another £300? Or will that be covered because your treatment that you tried to do on me failed? Anyway, I was thinking that, but it got worse. Because she said, because it's your big molar, I can't do a root canal on it because it requires a specialist. They need to get a microscope, they need to do this, they need to do that, they need to do the other, because it's your big molar, it's not just a normal root canal. And for that, you have to have that done privately. So it'll be £900. Excuse me? Come again? It'll be what, sorry? £900? Excuse me? I was like, no. I don't think so, love. I don't flip it. Before I'm paying you £900, I'm definitely getting a second opinion to see if a regular dentist can do a root canal on this tooth if it needs it. I'm not paying £900. Now, I've never had a tooth out other than when I was a child. And back then they used to knock you out with gas and have it done under general anaesthetic. They wouldn't do that nowadays, certainly. But I just dread having a tooth out whilst I'm conscious. It's my worst fear. One of my worst fears is them pulling a tooth out with flipping pliers whilst, whatever device they use, whilst you're awake. I don't think so. You'll have to knock me out for that to happen. Otherwise, I'm just going to endure as much pain as I can endure with any toothache until I have to give in to it. But you're not putting my teeth out of my head whilst I'm conscious. No. But anyway, the funny thing is, to have this tooth out, which, at this point, if I was like, you know what, £300 for your insert, £900 for your root canal, just take it out. It's a back molar, no one's going to be able to see it, just take it out. It'll cost me 80 quid, because having a tooth out is a band 2 treatment, because it's supposed to be quick. Push, out, gone. So the decision I will have to make, if this insert, which I will pay 300 quid for, doesn't work, because my tooth is still continues to decay, or I continue to get pain, will be, do I pay £900 for root canal, or do I have it out? A decision I don't wish to have to make, so I'm hoping the insert works, but yeah, 900 quid to have your tooth worked on. I'm like, the teeth are that big. My goodness. I'd probably pay it as well because I don't want my tooth out. So, but even root canal's not. Then she said, because if a specialist does it, it's got a better prognosis. It's got a 90% chance of being successful. I'm like, I pay 900 quid and there's still a 10% chance that I'll have to have the tooth out. And the worst thing about this entire affair, get this, is that because I'm in the civil service, I get access to certain benefits. And one of those benefits is a dental plan. Obviously you've got to pay for it. But they only take applications for it at a certain period of time in January. And I looked at this in December and I thought, right, I'm going to sign up for the dental plan this year. because I think it's just worth having. You just never know when you're suddenly going to be told by a dentist that, by the way, you need a root canal. It's going to be 300 quid, and I'll be covered up to a certain amount. You know, you pay monthly, but if you anticipate having work done, it'll work out cheaper. You know, if you just had 2 checkups in the year, you might have paid more for the plan, but it's the risk. It's like an insurance, isn't it? If you don't need it, you've paid more, but hey, if you did need it, you're going to pay less, so it's kind of a risk-reward kind of thing. The funny thing is, this plan, not open just yet, and now that I've been diagnosed with this problem, if I do apply for this plan, it's an existing condition, so it won't be covered. I was literally about a week away, and if I'd have thought about this properly, I'd have cancelled my appointment and delayed it until February. But I didn't expect to have anything done. So I'm a bit mortified. But anyway, I'll keep you posted. And the final kick in the teeth, pardon the pun, is she laughed when she booked me into the appointment. And I thought, what's funny? And then she says, I do apologise, but this is the next appointment. It's 14th of February, Valentine's Day. I said, yeah, it don't matter, my dear. She's a nice lady. I says, it don't apply to me, that. It's just another day. And even if I was in a relationship, it'd just be another day, because it's a commercial thing. But anyway, it was quite snickered. But I did remember that the 14th of February, I was supposed to be playing Super Seducer. And I love, what day is the 14th? It's a Friday. Oh, actually, no. I don't stream on a Friday. So that might spare me. In fact, I didn't notice it was I'm having that treatment on a Friday, even a laugh. Friday's my day of celebration and drinks and stuff. That's a further kick in the bloody knackers. We're never getting to Super... No, you're not now. It'll have to be Super Seducer on the 16th of February. Belated. Yeah, I love my you know how dentists are. Obviously, I'm anti-needle, anti-injection. I've only ever had, no, that's like 2. I've had 2 injections in the dentist, and I've had like over 12 fillings in my time. Every single filling I've had without an injection, because I hate needles. But when I had my first injection for root canal, I didn't feel a damn thing. For the second injection for my crown, I didn't feel a thing. I'm hoping it's the same for this third injection, which you'll have to put in for this insert thing, because it's on the lower side, where the previous 2 injections have been in the roof of my mouth and in the gum. Although somebody said that the injection in the roof of your mouth is supposed to be one of the most painful, but I didn't feel a thing. So I'm grateful for that. But anyway, there you go. There's dentist talk. So ordinarily, if this was like 10 years ago, I'd be absolutely crapping myself about having this treatment done. But whereas now, I'm just like, yeah, it needs to happen. I'm more unhappy about the fact it's costing me £300. Bloody hell. I'm paying for you to give me pain. I'm paying for you to put a needle in my face, to drill in my teeth. Thanks very much. Right, briefing. Oh, you all. So the thing is, Ollie, Super Seducer, which was something that I conjured up in the party stream in a drunken stupor, will probably come still before Cricket. And welcome, Amin Pix Gamer. What plan? A dental plan that I never took out because it wasn't time to take it out yet. Yeah. And I've been to the dentist and been given quite a financial bombshell. I could turn around to the dentist and say, you know what, love, give it another 6 months. I'll chance it. If the decay worsens, whatever. But I'm going to not do any of your advice, and I'm just going to not cancel all my appointments and just let my tooth ride for 6 months. See if the decay gets any... See if that dark shadow gets any darker. Because if it doesn't, you've made it up all along. It's probably not a good idea. 6 months' time, I'm in literal agony with my face. Right, anyway, here we go. We're going until 10:30 tonight, so 40 more minutes. Oh. That was a strange beginning to our security briefing. Anyway, on the way back from the Plavo Ark Sanctuary. Oh, hang on. I met my council in the city of Data for a briefing on our security and military situation. Yeah. No, if it gets any darker, I don't want to say I'll have my tooth out, but I'm one of these people that if the tooth comes out, because somebody at work had her tooth out. She's younger than me, a little bit younger than me, and she's like, "Oh, you can't see it unless I like really, smile like that." And I'm like, "No, I'm not like a vain person at all, really. But I'm not walking around with a gap in my tooth. For a start, if you're eating, there's a bloody hole in your mouth. How does that work?" I'm like, "No. If it has to come out, I have to have something put in its place. I'll have to bloody pay a fortune for one of them screwing jobs. I'll go to Turkey, get it done cheap." But no, clearly not, obviously. Anyway, sorry. That was my start to the weekend, by the way. Right, anyway, we are back. We are security briefinged. Come on, what news have you got for us? Doom and gloom, more than likely. The so-called Forge of Rizia was famous for its numerous foundries and factories in which the iron from the nearby hills was transformed into rifles and handguns. Largest of them all was the Royal Forge Foundry, responsible for supplying the Rizian police and military. The red brick complex towered at the end of the King's Avenue, Data's main road. My council and I were given a tour of the facilities before settling around the table in the foundry's great hall. Murals on the walls around us depicted the city's history as an industrial centre. Vina, don't do it to me, love, please. We know what's happening. We've seen it. We've experienced it in Mystic Meg's shack on Blackpool Pleasant Beach. Mystic Meg's told us you're getting married to that Suzerain fella. Don't go there. I'll be telling my mother on you. My flamboyant mother. Well, she'll put you straight. Grandma shall put you straight. Don't mess with Grandma. As Duchess of the Province and my War and Security Counsellor, Lucita sat at the head of the table. She nodded at the rest of us. Your Majesty, Your Highness, my esteemed fellow councillors. I planned this meeting here so that the King would have a shorter journey after his consecration ceremony. I'm sure the proceedings were very taxing, Your Majesty, whatever they were. Yeah, taxing they were, very much so. I had to strip off naked, hold the hands of a priest, and watch him tremble uncontrollably whilst spouting nonsense. Yes, it was very taxing indeed. I've never felt so invigorated. No. Do you know what? Yeah, let's go with it. We're the king. We've been invigorated with bad news and bad visions. No. Do you know what? No. Yeah, lead by example. We feel invigorated. You all should feel invigorated. I want you all pulling your fingers out and doing a sterling effort with gusto and motivation and determination. That's right. I'm glad to hear it. Religion has that effect on some people, I'm told. I'm told. You're not religious yourself, then? Sal was sitting across from me, still wearing his robes. He smiled enigmatically. Even if you are not a believer, Miss Zaro, I assure you the 6 stars of Saint Ruhex shine upon your house and our troops. Hugo nodded approvingly. I know better than to pry into the contents of the ceremony, Your Majesty, but I will say I hope it was an enlightening experience. You may proceed with your briefing, Duchess Zaro. With great pleasure, Your Grace. She gestured at one of the murals on the wall. It depicted a beautiful but severe-looking woman riding a horse down King's Avenue, her rifle at the ready. My ancestress, Anna Zaro, ordered the construction of this foundry in 1812, immediately after the end of the War of Rizian Succession. House Zaro knows that peacetime is not a period of rest. It is a time to gather our strength and hone our weapons for when they are next needed. Because they most certainly will be needed. I'm going like anti-military again. The first playthrough, it didn't end very well. And we're going all down the line of alliances, but alliances, as we saw in our catastrophic playthrough, unless you get them perfect, can be as weak as paper. But God gave us a vision of a future war. Yes, it did. Yes, it did. We funded the Royal Air Force, didn't we? Done a little bit. Oh no, this is going to be a catastrophe here waiting to happen. But clearly, I mean, Rumberg and all that. Come on now. Cozy up to him. We've got a military superpower on our side. Who's gonna mess with us? Yes, we could use peacetime to form new alliances and improve international relations. Strength is about more than just weaponry. But don't take that as a slight. I will still be assessing the situation when it comes to spending on military. Just to make sure that it's, financially in our interests to do so. Don't want to bankrupt ourselves for it now, do we? But, of course, the whole Pale situation, we do want it back. And that's not going to come without breaking some eggs, I feel. Well said, Your Majesty. Alliances can shift. Treaties can be broken. We should not be so naive as to assume every nation will respect diplomatic boundaries. I could hear the passion rising in her voice. Our failure to win the Reclamation War and the Rebellion of 1926 served as a double blow to the Rizian armed forces. Even after my father purged the troops and general staff of all suspected traitors to the throne, His Majesty King Valero was reluctant to restore our military to its former strength. As a result, Your Majesty, we are ludicrously underprepared for a country of our size. Yes, well, understanding the details will help us plan more effectively. Please do tell me more. I mean, I do want to say this as well. Efficiency savings, it's the future. Throwing money at things, although might help in some respects, isn't always the most efficient way to get things done, is it? Please do tell me more. We're facing shortages in critical areas like armoured vehicles, advanced communication technology, and even basic infantry gear. Now, a word about our military priorities. Focusing on the Air Force offers us a chance to establish aerial superiority, but it requires precise investments in procurement and fleet expansion. We will also be training a paratrooper division under this initiative. The strength of our Rizian armed forces lies in the diversity of our resources and units. We have manpower ready for duty as long as they're equipped with the necessary gear. Training these units, however, isn't an instantaneous process. Each unit, from infantry to naval, requires preparation. Ultimately, it is the readiness of our forces that will determine how well we can uphold our sovereignty and carry out our military strategies. Sounds like a complex affair. Lots of interest, very pertinent questions here. Just in case we can't ask all of them. How long does it take? No, we'll go down this line to start with. How do we plan to adapt our military training to ensure our armed forces are capable of meeting modern combat demands? Our training programs are being revamped to include combined arms tactics, ensuring interoperability among all service branches. In any case, as a commander of our armed forces, the final decisions rest with you. Ah, yes, indeed. I don't know a thing about how to run a military. Yes, your diligence is appreciated, Duchess. Begin the preparations. I will deliver my instructions shortly after the meeting. Once I've, shuffled a few papers and all that. Done some calculations, or at least got somebody to calculate for me, and just present me with the results. She nodded with satisfaction. If our kingdom took anything away from Pales and the rebellion, it is that we learned the deadly cost of unpreparedness. Our troops must reflect Rizia's resilience, ensuring such blows never weaken us again. We can achieve this thanks to my house. Camp Domus still runs the most rigorous, high-quality training program on the continent. Right, Captain Gordian? With lightning speed, she reached under the table, pulled out a knife and hurled it in the direction of the doorway. Titus languidly snatched it out of the air. The hell? Are you insane? Yes. Nonchalantly, watching the knife whiz past, man catches it in mid-air, like some out of a Steven Seagal movie. Very good. Yes, very good. Your house should be commended for its deep devotion to protecting this country. We are pleased to serve. She grinned briefly before regaining her poise. Of course, national security doesn't begin and end with the Rizian military. We also have our police and intelligence divisions to think about. Yes. I have a few more questions regarding the military. Let's exhaust all options here. I am here to answer them, Your Majesty. Where should I start? Right. Tell me about the state of our military production industry. She sighed. Despite our very grand surroundings, we have long neglected the potential of Fulce data. Rumberg currently supplies us with the bulk of our weaponry, including their Ka-74 rifles. But if we invested more into research, development and production in this city, our small arms industry could become a real force to be reckoned with. So investing into Fulce data. Yeah, okay. Easier and cheaper to continue importing from Rumberg. I imagine that would give a boost to the local economy as well. It would, Your Majesty. As long as there were enough people available to fill the new positions that would be created. We would unfortunately still have to rely on Rumberg for weaponry such as missiles, although I've seen promising developments in Dirdia. Dirdia. But there is a religious issue there, so that's not going to really go down too well, I don't feel. So, yes. I don't think Dirty's on the table here. See you later, Jam. Everyone has a price, Your Majesty. It will depend on what Rizia is willing to pay. When is the next one? Tomorrow. Tomorrow. As to what game it is, I don't know. It could be this, it could be Baldur's Gate 3. Depends what side of the bed I get out of. Have a good one. Yes, but I have set time aside to discuss Dirdia during our upcoming foreign policy meeting. I look forward to that conversation, Mr. Escabel. Where were we, Your Majesty? Yes, you were about to tell me about our naval and air capabilities. Our navy has actually made significant strides in the past 30 years. We are a coastal nation, after all, and our fleet is both well-trained and up-to-date. Our submarines could use improvement, though. Compared to those currently coming out of Rumberg and Valgsland, they are practically ancient. Our Air Force, meanwhile, is still suffering the consequences of the Pales campaign. Lorento nodded grimly. We did not foresee that Lesbian would become so heavily involved, nor that they would provide the Grand Duchy with cutting-edge aircraft. Yes, well, Lesbia wouldn't have had those planes if it weren't for their close ties with Arcasia, I'm led to believe. Very true. There is much to criticize about the West, but their technological prowess can't be argued with. And then there's the question of conscription. And how do we bolster our ranks? I'm glad you asked. As you know, our Central Royal Army is fed both by general conscription and levies from the individual provinces. If you ask me, the provincial armies should be pulling more weight, though I do understand that those of Brinus and Valenkiris are not nearly as well trained as Cardes Monteclars. I would also suggest extending the length of our conscription period and lowering the conscription age from 24 back to 18. Yes, why did my father even raise the age to 24 anyway? 24 is the age by which a person's brain is fully formed, Your Majesty. Excuse me? And which ludicrous conclusion is that? Exactly, says Vida, piping up. I beg your pardon, Uncle Hugo? I mean no offence, Your Highness, but young people, especially young men, tend to make irrational decisions before that age. Yes. No, I disagree. If you're old enough to vote, you're old enough to fight for your country. My thoughts exactly. Right, anyway, time to move on to other matters. 24, embrace fully formed. Oh, nonsense. These people come up with here. Got pins and needles in my foot. Oh. Right, tell me about our internal security. Does that need improvement as well? Of course it does. Goodness me. Actually, less so, Your Majesty. Our police forces have kept a firm handle on our populace since the uprising. Civil disobedience in Valenkiris, for example, is at a historic low thanks to your zero-tolerance policies as Duke. Not that it's ever being high in the era of House Toras. My own anti-crime efforts in Monteclar appear to be paying off as well. And the Central Police, headquartered in Rizia Imperi, have been keeping the capital secure. The members of House Sazin Hurubrinus have mostly fallen in line following the uprising. They contend to use the House of Delegates as a forum for their grievances. If there's a problem area, it's Isa. Cousin? Failing in his duties as Duke, is he? Well, ruling the Brinus capital after its transfer to House Taurus would not be an easy task for anyone. Complicating matters are the large numbers of Wezek migrants who settled in the city following the Civil War. As I mentioned in our earlier meeting, some turned to the black market to supplement their meagre guest work income, giving rise to organized crime. Hugo, wasn't you in Isa during the 30s? Didn't you try to stop this? I implemented a community policing program, but the criminal networks were too strong. Lucita sniffed. In my opinion, the growing influence of the nationalist group Su Omina has only inflamed tensions in the area. Certain members of House Taurus may disagree, of course. Yes, I completely agree. The provocations of people like my cousin will only stoke the flames of violence. The good Rizians of Isa are doing their best with the resources they've been given, Duchess. My son included. The problem, as I see it, lies in the lack of cooperation between the city's police force and those of the surrounding region. Yes, I've received Duke Rico's complaints that the Brina's forces have not been providing him with as much aid as he wishes, as well as his requests that extra police from our central forces be transferred to Isa and placed under his command. But I don't think that would solve anything. And why aren't the Brina's police cooperating? They are providing some assistance, but my instinct is that they, like most of House Sazun, disagree with Duke Rico's policies and his associations with Su Omina. Their political views should not matter. Their job is to protect and serve. I have the situation under control, Your Grace. You don't need to involve yourself with such a minor issue. Hugo opened his mouth to respond. Lucita pretended not to notice. Well, Your Majesty, shall we continue with the briefing? Indeed. What about our intelligence capabilities? They're just as important as our military strength. Ah, yes, I was getting to that, Your Majesty. The Rizian Intelligence Service has operatives in Morella, Derdia, Central Raylan, Lesbia, and Rumberg. His Majesty Valero, however, insisted on withdrawing our presence from Zeal and Pales. It's ridiculous. We need to keep a close watch on both of those regions. Yes, my father told him the same thing. He was afraid of drawing their leaders' suspicions. In my experience, we have much more to gain from straightforward diplomacy than from cloak and dagger operations. Mr. Esquibel, if you think Valen and Pales are not spying on Rizia, you're fooling yourself. Lentos sniffed indignantly. What useful information were we receiving from either region before the operatives' withdrawal? We learned of the prior Duke Njolma's abdication before it was officially announced, for one. That doesn't sound useful. Okay. That doesn't count as... It doesn't really, does it? Let's be honest. I suppose it could be useful. It depends how you use that information. If you know who's going to be stepping up next, I suppose, maybe. I suppose that's how you use it. Anyway, fine, whatever. Can the agents in those regions be placed back into position? Now that they have been withdrawn, it will be difficult and costly to get them back in place. But I can inquire into the possibility. Yes. Please do so immediately. Consider it done. Domestically, our main intelligence focus has been on preventing another uprising. To that end, our information gathering has been concentrated in Brinas, where the last anti-monarchist movement originated. Yes. What about... We're talking about her home province here. It might tick her off, but, you know. You know what we're going to say? We're going to ask it. Finger on the pulse, love. What's happening with your own country, your own province? Making sure that any sort of historical traitors have been dealt with. As I've mentioned, the military has been purged and my province is now under the strictest of control. Any other questions, Your Majesty? No, I think you've given me quite enough to think on there. Lucita, well done. Let's call it a day, I think, for now. The heavy wooden door to the hall creaked open. An aide rushed over to Lorento and whispered something in his ear. I see. I'll get a telephone right away. He turned to the rest of us, his usual jocular expression overlaid with concern. I must excuse myself briefly. Ladies and gentlemen, please continue without me. Excuse me, what's going on? I will explain once I have all the details. He gave a quick bow, then rushed out of the room. I wonder what that could be about. Anyway, if we leave soon, we can make it back to Port Drazen before it gets too late. She signalled to Titus, who tossed her knife back at the... In one fluid motion, she hiked up her gown, caught the projectile, and stowed it in a leather holster strapped to her thigh. Careful with that, I had a bad dream involving a stabbing. Not a variety theatre. Taking a dim view on seeing a bit of thigh in the council meeting. I mean, we are very religious. The Lord frowns upon such indecency. Oh my God. Oh. We're going there. We are going there. Indeed, modesty is one of the essential virtues of Ruhicism, for women or otherwise. Pardon me, Grand Riseman. It won't happen again. Say that it doesn't. We're trying to force ourselves into probably not a smirk here. I mean, it was good showmanship, you know what I mean? She's good with a knife. Don't get on her bad side. But no, we're religious, and there's a time and place for lifting your leg up, you know what I mean? Lifting your hem up. Not in the middle of a council meeting, alright? Lucita gave him a look of defiance as she adjusted her gown. To be fair, I'm struggling to picture her wearing a gown, even. An early return to the capital would be my preference as well, but where is Mr. Escobel? I'm sure he said he will tell us when he comes back with all the information. Hugo, be patient. The door swung open again and Lorento came back into the hall. He wiped his brow with the silk pocket square. Oh, come on now, hit me with it. Well, Mr. Escobel, I hope you've brought us good news. It's too early to tell if it's good or bad, but it's definitely impactful. I just received official confirmation that our neighbour has been accepted into the Arcasian Treaty Organization. Ah, so Lesbia were in the ATO when we started the original game, so they've just joined it now. Which obviously I think we're in 1950, are we at the moment? Lesbia. Precisely. Prime Minister Alvarez will make the official announcement tomorrow. Didn't we all see this coming? It should hardly be a surprise. Indeed, this development has been on the horizon for some time, but our relations with our neighbours are sure to change because of it. Thank you for updating us, Mr. Escobel. I suggest we set a date for a meeting to discuss Lesbia's ATO membership as well as our general foreign policy strategy. Yes. Preferably as soon as possible. We must decide on our official stance. We are not expected to come out against or in favour of Lesbia's alignment, but we should get on the same page as a council. That is, after the lovely evening of musical entertainment that the King has so generously organised for us. Ah yes, Albini was an excellent choice, Your Majesty. I do hope the performance showcases his earlier work, not his more chaotic contemporary offerings. Those works are only chaotic to the untrained ear, Hugo. Listen to them for long enough, and the structure appears. I beg your pardon, Your Majesty. I'll be sure to listen more attentively during the concert. Make sure you do. It's cost me a church building, a church roof, balcony. Yeah, exactly, Ollie. That's the point I'm making here. We've put this above fixing a church balcony as a religious ruler. You're going to enjoy this music, you're going to love this music, and you're going to listen attentively to this music. Alright? And if I see any of you asleep, chattering away, not listening, there'll be hell to pay. Lucita gave an impatient shrug. I confess it all sounds old-fashioned to me. Have you heard the jazz that's coming out of Kinal these days? But you have my house's gratitude for the gesture, Your Majesty. Gesture? It's more than a gesture, my dear. Cost me a balcony. I'll inform our hosts that we are departing shortly. She pushed back her chair and briskly left the hall. I looked over at my daughter. Her brow was furrowed. The Arcasian Treaty Organization? What will that mean for us? Nothing good. That's for sure. I barely even started my reign, and it already felt like the ground was shifting beneath my feet. What other challenges lay in store? Oh, 50,000 decrees. This is a game of decrees. Oh, lower conscription age. Cool beans, that's what I wanted to do, potentially, but at the cost of... At what cost? Reason... Oh, we've got an army tab. Oh, hang fire. Oh, we've got new tabs. New tabs with manpower, with equipment ranks, with we've got... Oh, hellfire. We've got a whole different mini-game going on here. Look at this. We've got infantry, support, tank, military ship, submarine, Saison levies, Azaro elites, Golden Guard, paratroopers, militia. Not trainable? I think this is a whole different kettle of fish, this. Different kettle of fish involved here. Right. I need to do some research before the next session. I need to have a look at this whole Rizia Armed Forces little mini-game that we've just got opened up to us now. And I need to figure out what the hell I'm doing with these royal decrees. I mean, one piece of advice was to leave them until the final turn, but there are some that might be useful now, such as flipping your energy to your budget, for example. Give us 2 budget, a bit more to play with. I don't know. But there's so many of them. Remove the death penalty. Enforce religious education. Holy flipping moly. This is absolutely outrageous how many options there are. So, I mean, it's quite interesting because clearly you can't enact them all. You've got to enact a certain amount to coincide with your budget and stuff. But the amount that there are and the impact that they might have on different things, that's a lot of variety, isn't it? A lot of different variety, and they all affect different stuff that, you know, affect your relationship with the people, relationship with the nobles, all that kind of jazz. Yeah, definitely a lot more power. Ooh. Feel the power. Yeah. The ancient resident city one that we've just splashed out on. Maybe we should have waited. There's a lot more out there now to spend that money on than a few bits of ancient ruin. Anyway, so be it. Right, we'll quickly check the briefings, and then we'll check the news, and then we'll call it a day. And then the next session, I'll do some research, and then we shall hopefully have a little bit more of an inclination about what the hell we're going to do. Because I think it's best if we have some kind of a plan, rather than just doing decrees willy-nilly. I think we need a plan. Do we need to placate certain people? Are we aiming to placate certain factions? If so, we might be more inclined to take certain things. Are we focusing on military or economy? Again, if it's one or the other, I've got to get my head around a plan here. Otherwise, we're going to end up with a situation where we pick options that just don't align and end up with nothing but catastrophe as an ending. I can feel it already. So, yes, we're going to have to get our house in order, literally. But before we do that, let's have a look at this. So we've got students hold walkouts for protest treatment of labour hands. Isa University. Oh, showing solidarity with Wessex-Candidian labour hands. Oh, how sweet. How they want equitable treatment of all workers. We've got a bigger fish to fry here. All right? Big fish here happening. Pending wars and stuff. Your little walkout protests. What do you expect me to do? Investing in the Rizian football industry. Okay, if we use our knowledge of the base game, right, we should invest in real Monteclar, probably, alright? I would have thought so. With what budget? Oh no. About that cathedral roof, mate, Mr. Sal. Yes? It's going to have to wait a bit longer. Even longer. Why? Because I just invested in a football team. So, you know, ancient ruins, football teams, all high priorities here. I'll have to make a decision on that one before the next session. Right, geopolitical news. Another decade of peace. Second decade of peace between Erdmag and Rumberg. They've adopted two differing foreign policies, despite them both being monarchies. Oh, Edmark is independent of Grace. Oh, very good. Chancellor Hegel. We know about Hegel. He throws shoes around, apparently, or bangs his shoes on tables. In the middle of meetings with all the heads of the, the area there. A very uncouth fella. Okay, so Mirella is cozying up to Valg's land. Oh, first ever diplomatic visit. Behind closed doors it was had, but hey, could be a good sign for them. And Alvarez confirms Lespia's ATO membership. Yeah, that makes Lespia pretty powerful. They were already the richest country in this area, and now they're allied to a major superpower. Yeah, they supported Pales last time. If we were going to invade Pales again in this playthrough, things just got a hell of a lot more complicated. Who's next? Would have been Swordland if you had gone down that line, wouldn't it? Could have been if you went down that line. Right, there you go, folks. We've got problems. So first decision when we come back, are we investing in Royal Monteclar or Real Monteclar football team? I kind of want to do. In fact, that's the only decision that we have to make before the game advances. So let's just click it and see what happens. Guys, I'm going to let you in on this decision-making process. Should we or shouldn't we? Up the Monteclar? Or we're not investing... We're not going with SC Drazen. We're not going there. We're not going there. Port Drazen. I don't want a competitive domestic landscape. I want to put all my eggs in the profitable basket. Let's invest. Does Rima strike you as a football guy? Well, there's been no mention in any of his histories about playing football, supporting football. However, we're not looking at this as football. We're looking at this as... Don't forget, we were told in the blurb that football is a big industry. Well, I say industry. Well, it is an industry in this country. Got a big football thing going on here. So it's more of a financial thing, this. Significantly influence the future trajectory of Rizian football. I mean, I assume we must get some payback out of this, surely. Whether it's tourism, whether it's people coming in, whether it's a boost to the economy, something must come out of this, surely. The Rizian Football Federation. Oh, but we've got no budget left. But the fact of the matter is, this is the last. Seems to be the last. Maybe the turn is ending after this decision. Maybe. Hopefully. I don't know. Oh, we're doing it. Screw it. We're doing it. We're doing it. Oh, it is into the turn. Start decree. We've got no budget left. Doesn't matter. Royal decrees. Oh, obviously a load of royal decrees that require budget are now out of scope because we've just drained the last of the budget. Right, so we've got all of these. We can't do this now because it's going to cost budget. Oh, all of these. Oh, hell, never mind. Never mind. There's still some we can do. So, hey, we'll have a look at those. when I've got a clue as to what the hell we're going to be doing. But anyway, there we go. We have managed to end the first turn, it seems. So, up the real Monteclar! Come on! Bring me money. Bring this fair country money. Revenue. Get the fans flocking in, spending cash. Put ourselves on the world map. I don't know. Hopefully it'll be a good decision. We'll see. Anyway, there you go, folks. 10:30 on the nose. In the next session, which will maybe be Tuesday, possibly be Wednesday. We'll have to see. But it won't be tomorrow, because I don't think I'm able to get all this reading done about all these different things. So tomorrow will be BG3, as we continue on in... What's the name of the place? Can't remember. Slept twice since we last played it. But yeah, we'll continue on there. We'll return to this. If there's no... well, it could be a pre-football stream on Tuesday. Depends what time football is. And if there's no football, it'll be a full stream. But Tuesday football is so unreliable that I don't know. So we'll see. But yes, go forth, enjoy the rest of your evenings. Hope you've had a great weekend. Hope you're looking forward to the week ahead. I have got an interesting day tomorrow because I've got a meeting with somebody that's not going to be all bright and rosy. Because I have to have some stern words, you see. So I hate those kind of meetings, but it has to happen when people need to be told certain things. So yeah, that's going to be something to not look forward to tomorrow. But yeah, ultimately the week ahead looks fairly quiet. Touch wood. So we'll see. We'll see. But yeah, hopefully join me tomorrow for BG3 and we'll have some more fun with Forpest. Until next time, folks, have a good one and I'll see you soon.